This is a Compaq Armada 1573DM. It's got a 233 megahertz Pentium and 32 megs RAM and other stuff that we'll get into a little bit later. This particular example is in pretty good shape. It's not 100%, it does have a couple little scratches, but it's an old used laptop, so what do you expect? If we open it up, the screen hinges are actually very nice, given its age and the usual condition that I see these things in. You just kind of push it and there's a little bit of wiggle, but it's pretty nice. Opening it up here on the screen, which you won't be able to see, it's got a Pentium sticker, but you'll see that shortly. Keyboard in nice shape, not very worn at all. It's got a nice feel to it, but it's not the best that I've felt in a laptop. We've got some shortcut buttons, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Don't really know what they would have been used for, but they are there. And power button, and also I don't know if there's really any difference. I know a lot of Compaqs have 2 power buttons. Don't know what they're for, but we got the main one right there and another one that slides over. So that's a thing. Touchpad of pretty small size. Got 2 buttons right there, both of which work. This one seems to be a little bit less clicky than this one, but that's probably because it was used more. Speaker cutouts right here on the palm rest, which are nice feeling. You know, they're not going to bother your palm when it's on there. Let's take a look at the outside and the ports. This one, by the way, has intact clips. A lot of times clips on these older laptops will break off for the screen, but this one has them intact, which is cool. It's got a built-in floppy drive, well, a removable floppy drive. Actually, you can remove that and replace it with another battery, I believe. It's got 2 card slots, a built-in modem, and 1 USB port. Sorry about moving the camera there. On this side, we've got 1 PS2 port, infrared, docking station, VGA out, parallel and serial, as you have on most laptops of this time period. Interesting thing about this one, and a couple other ones of this time period, is that it has a built-in power supply. So you don't need an external brick. That's all built in. You just plug in the Mickey Mouse style power cord, and that's it. All built in. It's very convenient. On this side, we've got a CD, probably not a burner, probably just a reader, but that is on here, and you can remove it and replace it with something else. Kensington lock, volume up and down buttons, audio jack, and a removable, well, it's the hard drive, or no, it's the removable battery on this side. So you can actually fit 2 batteries in here, which is kind of neat. On the front, not much. These, I believe, are just cutouts for the speakers that are on the front. We take a quick look at the back here. Not much to mention. I think this is where you would put the modem in if you wanted to replace it. I mean, honestly, there's not much. I think this under here is a CMOS battery, but I'm not 100% sure. And that's it. That's all there is. The power input for this, in case you're interested, is a 24 volt. Wait, 24 volt? Is that right? That seems wrong. Oh, it says 240 volt. It says, let's actually look at this the right way. I have the power adapter. I'll look at it in a moment. It says 0.95 amp for input. That doesn't seem right. Oh, well, no, it's because I'm stupid, because it uses one of these, one of the Mickey Mouse plugs. That's right. So you don't need an external power brick. I'm not really used to that at all. So it just takes in wall current. So let's plug it in first, and then struggle to find the plug. We'll open this up, and I'll readjust the camera. I apologize that I first of all just hit it, and it's going to make a little noise. There we go. Try to get this centered, and we'll go ahead and press the power button. So I actually didn't have to put in a new hard drive. This one had one built in. I think it's a 4 gigabyte or 3 gigabyte, something like that. As I said, it's got 32 megs of RAM. One issue that's more of just a characteristic of these older Compaqs and laptops in general, is that the screens are not that good. It's just the technology of screen. I believe it's a, and I think I'm going to be wrong on this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think it's a TFT screen. And this installation of Windows has some issues. It's missing a bunch of Novell files, and then it blue screens, and then we should be able to boot up. But the screen, it just doesn't look very good. And if you've seen one of these, you'll know what I'm talking about. It looks kind of grainy and washed out, and moving the mouse around, everything is just slow. Very slow refresh rate. But, I mean, this one works otherwise, so that's cool. It's currently running Windows 98 First Edition, not Second Edition. And we should be able to see that in just a minute. It did make the startup sound, you just didn't hear it because it's kind of quiet. And this does have the previous person's installation on it, but there's no identifying information, no personal stuff, no internet history or anything. So I'm just going to leave it as is with the couple of programs it has, just so the next person doesn't have trouble finding drivers or, you know, it's a history preservation thing. The battery in this thing, by the way, just is dead, if you couldn't have guessed that already. Maybe this does have 98 SE. I think it actually does. Yeah, I don't know. And I have a note. I wrote a little note card here of all the specifications, so when I post this on eBay, I can write all those down. I wrote, it has a bad pixel, but I don't see any bad pixels at the moment. So I'm not sure what that was about. As I said, it does have the original installation, so it is getting a little bit old. It could probably benefit from a new installation of Windows, but I'm not going to do that. I'll leave it for the next person. Let's see, what size hard drive do we have? I think I said it had a 3 gig hard drive. Go ahead and press C. Yeah, I know, that's the Novell thing. So that's 1.5 and 1.4. So it's a 3 gig hard drive in there. And that, I think, just about wraps it up for this. There's really nothing special about this particular one in terms of software, so I'm not going to go over that at all. This was more just a documentation that this thing existed at one point in time and just the condition that it was in. So that is it for this one. This will be going up on eBay shortly. If you're watching this a year, 2 years after the video has been released, so please look at the date. It's probably not for sale, but I will include the link to the eBay listing in the video description, so that if you look at this, you know, after the video was posted, you might have a chance at picking this thing up for pretty cheap. And with that said, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick overview of the Armada 1573DM, what I think is a pretty good example of one at least. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And as always, I thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed.